All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'll be your yoga instructor today. So, welcome back to this hips and low back series. We are now in the advanced class. Don't take that word too seriously. The classes we've done leading up to this are just gently stepping you one at a time up into some of these more advanced postures where you don't need any extra support. But as always, if you're just getting into this, you can always kind of step yourself back down or take that modification as you need. So today we're really going to be getting into those hips, into that low back, kind of hopefully getting you nice and loose for the rest of your day and the rest of your week. So just a couple things to know as we get into class. First of all, make sure that you take modifications when you need. Of course, it's your body, it's your practice. Also keep in mind, I don't often cue water. So if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and join us whenever you feel ready. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed or straight out in front of you. You can be sitting up on a prop. I'm on a block today, or simply down on your mat. And we're going to wiggle back and forth to root into the sits bones. Then we'll sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. One more time. Inhale as the shoulders come forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. Bring your hands into a comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to close the eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply find an unmoving point and soften your gaze. Quote, we can only see our outsides, but nearly everything happens on the inside. Isn't this quote fascinating? We relate so much of the circumstances we face to our physical form, yet much of what happens in our life is actually happening internally, away from the eyes of the world. The inner landscape of the mind is where we process, contemplate, understand, and form responses to our experiences in the external world. Given that we do so much work internally, it makes sense to care for that aspect of ourselves, to ensure that when we're spending time on the inside, it's a pleasant place to be. Cultivating kind words, kind thoughts, and grace for ourselves is a powerful way to ensure our mind is a neighborhood we'd want to live in. Today, as you move through practice, notice how your inner landscape changes. If there's an area that could use some improvement, can you start to send that area grace and love? So, settling in, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air, and slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you feel your belly expanding outward like a big balloon. And then exhale as you draw that belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand, your collarbones gently lift. Then exhale as you feel your shoulders drop down and away from your ears. Inhaling air in your nose, down your throat, filling your lungs. And then exhale as you gently squeeze that air out of your lungs. Move it up your throat and out your nostrils. Continue breathing in this manner, inhaling and exhaling with intention, feeling that gentle movement of the breath here. If and when the mind starts to wander off on a thinking adventure, it's okay. Simply notice the moment that the mind has gone away, and then reward yourself by saying, great job. and coming back to the breath, back to the inhales and exhales. If it's helpful, perhaps engaging with a mantra here to help you stay grounded and focused on the breath. Inhale, I care for. Exhale, my inner world. Inhale, I care for. Exhale, my inner world. Remaining here with the breath in whatever way best supports you for just a couple more moments here today. Taking another deep inhale here as you set an intention or a purpose for your practice, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale here as you feel that intention with your heart and your mind. And then exhale the breath out, set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. All right, let's go ahead and make our way onto hands and knees, coming onto all fours. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, tops of the feet come onto the floor. Good. We're going to do some tabletop side bends here. So taking your right foot, kicking it up into the air, and then kicking it out to the side at like a 90-degree angle. Good. We're then just going to extend our left foot straight out behind us, turn that back heel down. Bring your weight into your right hand. Inhale, sweep tall with that left arm, reach toward the sky. And then exhale, bring that arm overhead, reaching it down toward the floor, creating a lovely side body stretch here. So bottom elbow slightly bent, weight is in that right knee, that right hand. We're getting support from that left foot and heel, really reaching through those fingertips, feeling that nice arc and curve of the body as we get into that side body, those ribs into that hip there. Good. Feel that opening through the left shoulder, that pull through the bicep into the forearm, maybe even into the fingertips. Nice deep breath here. Let that breath go. Nice deep breath here. Exhale, go ahead and drop that hand and knee back onto the mat, coming onto that opposite side. So lift that left heel and then kick that foot out to the side at a 90-degree angle. Good. It's a little awkward at first. Extend your right foot straight out behind you, turn the back heel down. On the next inhale, sweep that right arm tall, reach up toward the sky, and then exhale, bring that right arm up overhead, reaching those fingers down toward the floor. Nice full side body stretch on the opposite side. So as you reach those fingers down, feel that pull through the side body, pull through the hip here. Bottom elbow is slightly bent. Weight is in that hand and in that knee on the ground. We're getting some balancing support from that right foot. Really feel that lovely opening, even in through that right shoulder here, almost all the way down to the fingertips, depending on how tight you are. Nice full breath here. Nice deep exhale. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, bring that hand and knee back into neutral. Great job here. Plant your right hand on the mat. Inhale, sweep tall with that left arm, tabletop twist. Check in with the hips. Make sure that left hip isn't jutting out to the side, but is instead in line with your knees. Really reaching up tall here. Hand can stay here, or you can sweep it around behind you and just reach toward the back of the room, or bring it all the way down and hook it to the inside of your right thigh for a nice little bind here. Bottom elbow slightly bent. Focus on rotating through the spine, turning that gaze up toward the sky as much as you can, bringing that twist all the way up into the cervical spine, into your neck here. Take a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Notice how your breath is contracted. You can't breathe as deeply in twists. One more breath here. Exhale. Let's go ahead and release that left hand down to the mat. Great. Plant into that left hand, and then on the next exhale, reach up to the sky with that right arm. So again, make sure the hips are jutting out to the right, but they're in line with the knees here. Really reaching up toward the sky. Now you can stay right here. You can reach that right arm toward the back of the room, or sweep it all the way around behind you and hook it to the inside of that left thigh, deepening that twist with that bind here. Taking a nice deep breath as you really feel that rotation through the spine. Try not to lock out that left elbow. It's so easy to do. Curving that nose around as far as you're able, bringing that twist all the way up into the neck, working some mobility back into the neck here. Nice full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go ahead and release. Come back down to the mat. So again, hands beneath the shoulders here. Moving into our cat-cows, we're going to inhale, sink the belly, lift the head and the hips, coming into cow. And then exhale, press into the mat, lift the back, coming into cat. Good. Inhale into cow, sink the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up, feel that gentle pull through the neck. You notice how my voice changes as I do this. Exhale, press into the mat, feel the shoulder blades separate as you try to move the chest and the hips to touch. Good. Inhale, sink into that nice deep cow. Really feel those hips move up toward the sky, that deep bend in the low back. And then exhale, press into cat. Feel that opening through the upper spine here into the neck. Good. And then inhale, let's return to neutral. Good. On the next inhale, go ahead and tuck the toes, lift the hips, come into a down dog. We're going to bend one knee and then the other, walk out the dog a little bit, warming up those legs as we get ready for our dragon pose here. So take a nice deep inhale here. Nice deep exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale, come into stillness. Inhale, sweep that right leg tall up toward the sky, look up between the hands, and then exhale, step your right foot up between the hands. Drop that back knee down, and then inhale, let's go ahead and come up into neutral. So we're going to go ahead and straighten out that front leg, flex the front foot. We'll start with the hands on the hips and prepare to drop them down onto the mat. All right. So inhale as we lengthen through the spine. Exhale as we hinge at the hips. Lead with the heart center and fold forward over this front leg. Now you can hang out here if this is where you're at, or fingertips or palms can come down to the floor. Now, as we do this, we're not rounding out the back. So notice here, we want to keep that back nice and straight, chin slightly tucked so we feel that length through the crown of the head, and then really focus on hinging at the hips, leaning forward at the heart center so we get that nice deep stretch through the back of that right leg. Draw that left hip forward so we feel that pull right into that right hip capsule. If you don't like me very much at this point, you're doing the posture right, most likely. It's an intense stretch, but one that feels so good, and it's so good for our bodies once we're out of it. So let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Good. Inhale, come forward onto that front foot here. Sink those hips down and then lift the torso right into our low lunge. So a couple options. Hands can come down onto the top of the leg, onto your hips. If you can reach the floor, great. I cannot, but feel free if that's available to you. So we're sinking the hips down, feeling that opening through the left hip flexor here. Left foot top is on the floor. Good. Check in, make sure knee and ankle are in line with one another so we're protecting our knee joint. We're lifted through the torso instead of hunched over. Shoulders are back and down. We're nice and tall through the crown of the head. Good. Couple deep breaths. Good. And then hands come down to the mat, tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, turn that back heel down. Good. We're going to straighten our right leg here. Plant your left hand to the inside of that right ankle. maybe to the inside of the low left calf or right calf here. You'll know what feels good for you. And then exhale, rotate across the body, lift that right arm tall, coming into your revolve triangle. Holy IT bands. Woo, we're feeling it now. So reach that top arm up toward the sky. If this bothers the shoulder, hand can also come down onto the hip. Focus on bringing your right hip toward the top of the mat so you really feel that pull through the outside of that, or left hip to the top of the mat, sorry. So you feel that pull through the outside of the right leg here. Oh my gosh, so tight. I know I sit a lot for work. And so this is a great posture to help you loosen up. Slight bend in both knees here, but we don't want to bend them too deep because we do want to get that nice stretch. If you're feeling this in the hamstring, it does not mean you're doing it wrong. That's just where you are tighter. Let's take another deep inhale. And then exhale, drop that right hand down to the mat, switch it with the left hand. Go ahead and rotate that left hip up and open, lift that left arm coming into triangle. So top arm is up, palm is open. We're stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Front knee is slightly bent. It's so tempting to lock it out. Keep just a baby bend there. And we're trying to flatten ourselves out here. So we're feeling that pull through the top of that left hip, but also a nice deep stretch to the inside of that right leg here. Bottom elbow slightly bent, but we're feeling a good amount of weight on that hand as we create the support we need in this posture. Good. Another deep breath here. Good. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, top hand comes down to the mat. Go ahead and frame your hand or foot with your hands. And then we're going to go ahead and drop that back knee down. Walk your foot over to your left wrist, drop your knee to the inside of the right wrist, and then slide your knee back here. Good. So welcome into pigeon. We can stay right here if you'd like. You can come down onto the forearms if that feels great. Since this is an advanced class, we're going to work ourselves up here. So if you'd like, come onto the hands, onto the fingertips, press the chest tall coming into king pigeon. Great option. Now, if you'd like to take this into mermaid, we're going to bend that back knee and draw the left heel in toward the glute. Plant your right hand on the mat, reach back and grab that left foot. Okay. Now, I'm stepping you into this. This is a pretty intense stretch. So take it as far as you can get without straining, without pulling any muscles. And remembering you can always come back to this class and try again to get yourself a little further each time. Now we're going to draw our foot to the inside crook here of our elbow. We're going to bend that left hand or left elbow, move the hand toward the shoulder. We'll then inhale, sweep our right arm tall, bend at the elbow, and then bring those fingers into a bind. Good. So lifting up nice and tall, welcome into mermaid. We're getting a stretch through our hip, but also a nice pull through the top of that left quad. Oh my gosh, this is a pretzel pose if I've ever seen one. Lifted through the torso, shoulders down. Another deep breath here. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, let's go ahead and release. Hands come down to the mat, tuck the back toes, lift that back leg, step back into your three-legged dog, move that right leg around in a couple circles in one direction, and then in the other. For dropping that foot down and switching here. Inhale, left leg goes tall, reach toward the sky, look up between the hands. Exhale, bend the knee, step the left foot up between the hands. Good. Drop that back knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, come up into neutral, extend that left leg straight out in front of you, bend, flex the foot so it's nice and tall here. Inhale as we lengthen through the spine. Exhale as we hinge at the hips, lead with the heart center, fold forward over our left leg now. So again, hands can remain on the hips. If it's accessible, you can bring fingertips or palms to the mat here. Again, keeping that nice flat back, chin is slightly tucked. We're long through the spine, all the way up into the neck, reaching through the crown of the head, pressing the heart center forward here. So we're getting that nice deep stretch through the leg, drawing that right hip toward the top of the mat here. So we're really feeling that stretch all the way up into that right hip or left hip capsule here. Good. Nice deep breath. Another deep breath. Good. And then inhale, go ahead, come onto that front foot. Go ahead and lift the torso here, coming right into your low lunge. So now we're feeling that opening on in the front side of that right hip. Check in, make sure knee and ankle are in line with one another so we're protecting the knee joint. Hips are sinking down, torso is nice and tall. Hands can be resting on the thigh, on the hips, maybe fingertips touch the ground. Ooh, I've got a little more flexibility so I can barely touch the ground in this posture. So again, notice what feels right for your body. One side will likely feel a little bit different than the other. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Good. And then go ahead, hands come down to either side of that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, turn that back heel down. Good. Straighten that front foot or front leg here. Plant the right hand to the inside of the ankle or low calf here. And then exhale, rotate across the body. Lift that left arm tall, coming into revolve triangle. Ah, the IT bands, they are singing. So reach that top arm up toward the sky. Hand can always rest on the hip here. Think about drawing that right hip toward the top of the mat, just like we did in dragon here. So you're getting the fullness of that stretch to the outside of your left leg now. Yes. Feeling that pull. Oh my gosh. Slight bend in both knees. We're not locking out the joint. And then same with that bottom elbow. Slight bend in that bottom elbow. Again, it's always tempting to lock out the joints, but it just makes it easier on the muscles, which is a lot of times why we do it. But we're trying to get the work in, right? So taking a nice deep breath here. Good. One more deep breath. And then exhale, go ahead, sweep that left arm down, plant it to where the right hand was, and then go ahead, open up with that right hip, sweep tall with that right arm, coming into triangle on the opposite side. So again, top arm is up, palm is open. Hand can also rest down on your hip here. Think about the top hip opening, top shoulder opening. They're stacked on top of their counterpart. Front knee is just slightly bent, but we're nice and long here. We're feeling that opening through the right hip on the top, but also through the inside of that front leg. Slight bend in both knees, not locking out any joints. Slight bend in that bottom elbow. Couple deep breaths. Then inhale, top hand comes down to the mat. Go ahead and frame your foot with both hands and drop that back knee down onto the mat here. Untuck the toes. Heel toe your foot to the inside of the right wrist. Drop the knee down to the inside of the left wrist. So welcome back into pigeon here. You're welcome to stay right here. Again, maybe you come down onto the forearms. Now, again, this is our advanced series. So if we're kind of amping it up a little bit, deepening that stretch, we're actually going to come up onto the hands here. Okay. Now, up onto the fingertips, really lifting the torso tall, pressing that right hip down onto the floor. Welcome into King Pigeon. You can stay here. Another option, if you'd like to move into mermaid, we're going to bend that right knee and draw the heel in toward the body. Again, stopping when you reach a point where your body's like, nope, not today. Totally fine. You can always come back to this class and just try to work yourself a little bit deeper each time in a way that is graceful toward your body. Okay. Planting into that left hand on the mat in front of you, reach that right arm around and either grab the foot, maybe that's where you're at, or slide that foot into the crooks of your elbow here. Then go ahead and bend that elbow, drawing the foot in toward your body. We're going to inhale, sweep that left arm tall, bend at the elbow, and then bring those fingers either to touch or to bind here. So welcome into mermaid on the opposite side. Ooh, it's a delicious posture. So we've got that nice deep pull through the top of that right quad. This is great if today was leg day for you, as it was for me. We're getting a stretch in our hip, that left hip, and then we're also getting a nice stretch in through the shoulders here. We're lifted through the torso here. We're feeling that balance, feeling that stretch, taking a couple deep breaths. One more nice deep breath here. And then exhale, let's go ahead and release. Bring those hands back down to the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Go ahead and come back into your three-legged dog. Move that leg around in a couple circles in one direction and in the other before dropping that foot back down to the mat. Even out in your down dog here. Go ahead and walk out that dog, bend one knee and then the other. Fingers are nice and wide. All 10 pads of the fingers are gently gripping the mat. Shoulders are shrugged down onto the back. Take a deep inhale, lift those heels tall. Exhale, allow the heels to sink toward the mat. Notice how close they reach now, how the legs and the back are feeling. We've done a lot of really deep stretching. Let's take one more nice deep inhale. And then exhale, go ahead, drop the knees, untuck the toes. We're going to sink back into a child's pose. So elongate the arms, forehead comes down toward the mat. It does not have to touch, of course. It's just the direction you're headed. Fingers can be splayed out wide. You can stack the hands. You can also sweep those hands around to your feet for embryo, allowing the shoulders to drop. Notice what feels right for you. Taking a moment to just check in with the body and noticing what's present. Physical sensations, emotions, thoughts. Simply noticing. Lovely. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, go ahead and make your way back up onto hands and knees and onto your butt. We're going to make our way onto our back. So if you need to grab a drink of water, towel off, put on socks or a jacket for final relaxation, now is your moment to do so. We will not set up for the rest of our practice. So coming on down onto your back, let's go ahead and tuck those knees into the chest, wrap our arms and legs behind, or not behind our head, wrap our arms around our knees, giving ourselves a little squeeze, maybe a little rock from side to side if that feels good. Little roly-poly action here. Good. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and drop the soles of the feet down to the floor. We're going to make our way into final relaxation. So you have a couple options here. You can stay right here, which is a great option. Knees are in little mountains. You can allow those knees to fall open wide, soles of the feet together, recline down angle. You can extend one leg, keep the opposite foot in for fallen tree, or you can extend both legs for traditional final relaxation. Hands come into a comfortable spot, whether out at your sides, on your belly, up overhead, whatever feels good. You're also welcome to roll onto your side or your belly, or you can just make your way back into a seated position and treat this final part of our practice as a seated meditation. So notice what feels right for you, what feels good for your body today, and make your way into that position. And as you begin to settle in physically, start to tune into the breath. Begin to notice how fast or slow it is, how deep or shallow. Notice the quality of each breath on your inhales. Quality of each breath on your exhales. Notice the gentle rise and fall of the belly. The gentle rise and fall of the chest. And see if you can stay right here with the breath, noticing its movements with an open curiosity, open awareness. Now, if your mind is already moving back into thinking mode, work mode, whatever's going on in your life, see if you can just not tune out the thoughts, but notice when you get dragged away. Celebrate the fact that you've noticed, and then come back to your breath. back to noticing the breath as it moves through the body here. If it's helpful, you can come back to that mantra that we use at the beginning of practice. Inhale, I care for. Exhale, my inner world. Inhale, I care for. Exhale, my inner world. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time. I respect yours, and I will be sure to let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here. The present contains the past and the future. We practice mindfulness and keep our body and consciousness healthy, not only for ourselves, but for our ancestors, our parents, future generations, society, and the world. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose as you fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Move the arms and legs, gently waking your body up. And when it feels right for you, gently rolling onto one side and pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath the head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Taking another deep inhale here as you make your way on up into a seated position and we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into the sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, the shoulders come forward and up. Exhale, we drop them back and down. Hands can come onto the lap, palms up or down, into your, or on the knees, palms up or down, in your lap or at heart center if you'd like. You're welcome to close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this advanced series that's part of the hips and low back series here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. It was an honor to lead you through this practice. I hope that you enjoyed this series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit me up. If you redo this series, that's great. Make sure to share with friends if you enjoyed this practice, any one of the practices in the series or anything on my channel. I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in a future series or in another class in this series. So thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.